According to your syllabus, we have two types of structure, that is, one is functional structure and another is divisional structure. Delegation in the sense transfer of authority and responsibility, that is called delegation. State any two advantage and two disadvantage of functional structure. So whenever we go with organization structure, what exactly it is, that is, the structure is the outcome of the organizing process. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to all the students for this very chapter revision. Now here in this fifth chapter, Organizing, I'll be explaining you how exactly the questions are going to come and what exactly you people need to write so that you will fetch full on full in the Organizing chapter. So whenever we go with the chapter 5 Organizing, the question will always come that how many marks you people will get in this chapter. According to the model paper which we have received from the board, we can actually estimate that this chapter has a lot of weightage. The reason here is you will always have one mark question, but here there is a twist. That is, after the model paper, when we evaluated it, got to know that from Organizing you will not get one mark question, but you will be getting two 1 mark question, two 2 mark questions, two 4 mark question. And luckily here students, this offer is only for the present batch of the second PU, that is, even you people will get two 8 mark question in this chapter. So this chapter is a very important chapter, and plus you have a bonus that is called a PUC question, where you'll be getting a functional structure or divisional structure. So it is already like paper is leaked, and Vidhyaashram is a college which is doing it for the students. So here what exactly you are supposed to do, that is, before examination, Vidhyaashram is telling you that which all the questions are so important for you people to study. That is what we call it as smart way of learning. Let's go with this smart way of learning, the Organizing chapter. The first section A, where it is for 1 mark, which you are supposed to go with one sentence or more of the sentences you can actually go with, but usually restrict your answers because it is only for 1 mark. So the question is, which management function translates the plans into action? Now understand, planning is always for what? It's a future course of action. But if you need to do something which you have already planned of, you need to go with Organizing. So the first question, the first answer is here, that is, the Organizing is the function which translates the plans into action. The second question is, what is organization structure? Understand, whenever we go with the multinational companies or a small company or dormant company or any kind of a company, there should always be a formal structure as well as there will be informal structure also. So whenever we go with organization structure, what exactly it is, that is, the structure is the outcome of the organizing process. So when we go with the organizing process, what all is the outcome of the organization process, that we call it as organizational structure. Usually people will actually have a strong organization structure so that they will actually get what the objectives was desired by the organization. Which type of organization structure is suitable for enterprise having large variety of production? See, according to your subject, according to your syllabus, we have two types of structure, that is, one is functional structure and another is divisional structure. According to the question is like, which type of organization structure is suitable for enterprises having large variety of products? So I'll always go with divisional structure, because divisional structure are divided into the variety of product which the company has. So we'll go with the answer divisional structure. Next one is, what is delegation? Now there are three questions which are for compulsory. One is delegation, another is decentralization, another can be centralization, or you can also get a question, the elements of delegation. So I'll just tell you the questions here itself, how you are supposed to answer those. Say example, here you have what is authority, what is responsibility. I'll tell you whenever you get this question delegation, understand the concept of delegation. Delegation in the sense transfer of authority and responsibility, that is called delegation. The same way you have decentralization, that is distribution of authority and responsibility. So here in delegation there are three elements of delegation. So the first one we have is authority. Authority. This is the first delegation, that is the elements of delegation. The next one, B, in the sense you have responsibility. And the C part, that is the third element of delegation, is called accountability. So you will definitely get a question, what is authority, what is responsibility, what is accountability? I'll just tell you here. Authority is a supreme power which you get so that you can actually ask people to do the work done. Responsibility in the sense here the subordinate will be responsible towards his superior. Accountability in the sense what all you people have done, you are supposed to narrate the same thing to the superior. That is called accountability. So here we have delegation refers to the downward transfer of authority. The keyword is what? Transfer of authority and responsibility from a superior to the subordinate. Now what is authority? Right of an individual to command his subordinate. Responsibility is the obligation of subordinate to properly perform the assigned duty. The next one, you will definitely get a question called what is accountability? Let's understand. Apart from authority and responsibility, accountability is the only element of delegation which can never be transferred at all. If I'm accountable for something, it is only me who is accountable. Nobody else can take that. So that is what the question is. Can accountability be delegated? No. Accountability cannot be delegated at all. So this is what it is. Next is, when can one say that an organization is centralized? So I told you about delegation. Now it's all about centralization. Now centralization means what? One person commanding the entire organization or the system is called centralization. The opposite of it is decentralization, where distribution of accountability as well as authority and responsibility happens. So let's understand what is centralization and decentralization. An organization is centralized when decision making authority is restricted by higher management level only. Now what is decentralization? Those organizations in which such authority is shared with lower level are called decentralization. So usually for a long run, what happens is 81% people say that decentralization of authority and responsibility will give you a success rate. Whereas the other half, what they say is, if it is not given to all the people, usually what happens is the survival will not be more. But again, I'm telling you, business is all uncertain. The way they are running, it is all about their trial and error. There are a few companies which are doing really good, but they are having centralization authority. The company who are doing very good, they also have decentralization. So it is always subjective whether they go with the approach or they will not go with the approach. But I always prefer to be working under a decentralization rather than centralization. Without the following is not an element of delegation. I told you the elements of delegation. What are they? That they are accountability, or you can say A in the sense authority. You have a responsibility as well as you have accountability. Apart from that, anything is there that is not a part of delegation. So you have accountability, yes. Authority, yes. Responsibility, yes. So the answer is what? D, informal organization. Next one. A network of social relationship that arise spontaneously due to interaction at work is called as, see, spontaneously, if it comes to the organization, what type of organizing structure that is? Say, is it formal organization? No, it is not, because it is coming spontaneous. Informal organization, let's understand the two more options: decentralization and delegation. See, decentralization is distribution. Delegation is a transfer. So the answer is informal organization. So your answer is B, informal organization. Next one. Which of the following does not follow the scalar chain? Now, scalar chain means what? You are supposed to go back to the second chapter where Henry Fayol has explained you about the scalar chain. What exactly the scalar chain is here? When we go with the scalar chain, try to understand, we have the levels of management. Say here you have A, B, C and D. Here you have B dash, C dash and D dash. The communication start from A to D. So here authority moves downwards. And the same way here D dash to C dash, if you go with it, that is the responsibility is there, where subordinate is responsible for the work of the superior kind of a thing. So authority is here, responsibility is here. Now this is called formal. Now what is that informal? In the sense here, which of the following does not follow scalar chain? Is informal organization will never follow scalar chain. Let's understand the options now. A, functional structure. B, divisional structure. C, formal organization. And D, informal organization. See, the functional structure as well as division structure, they aim at scalar chain. Formal organization also aims at scalar chain. It is only the informal organization which will never go under the scalar chain principles. The reason is informal in the sense you will always be mutually benefited with each other. So they'll not go with authority and responsibility. They always go with emotion as well as the love and the belongingness. So the answer is informal organization. Next is 13th one. For delegation to be effective, is it essential that responsibility be accompanied with necessary? So what exactly the question here they're asking you is all about the delegation. So the options we have is A, accountability, B, authority, C, responsibility, and D, informal organization. So the answer here, please read the question once again with me. For delegation to be effective, is it essential that responsibility be accompanied? Now, responsibility should always be accompanied by one thing, that is called authority. So you will go with the B, authority. Next is span of management refers to. Span of management means what? A, number of managers. B, length of terms for which a manager is appointed. Next, we have number of subordinate under a superior. And the last one is number of members in top management. Now, what exactly a span of management is? That is how many people you can control. That is called span of management. So here it happens to the manager. Say example, number of managers, no. Length of terms, no. Number of subordinates under a superior. So a superior, how much he can manage. That is called span of management. So your answer is C, number of subordinates under a superior. Next one is grouping of activities on the basis of functions is a part of the word they have already given you, that is grouping of people according to the function. So it is always called as functional structure. Let's understand the other options as well. Let's go with it. A, decentralization organization, divisional organization, functional organization, or centralized organization. The answer is functional organization. So this is what the 15 questions I have done in the part A. Let's go with the part B. Define organizing. See, the same way you need to understand. If you are studying planning chapter, you are supposed to read what is planning, define planning. If you go with organizing, you should understand what is the meaning of organizing as well as the definition of organizing. The same way here, give the meaning of organizing. See here, define organizing. Give the meaning of organizing. Please do understand, whenever you go with the word define organizing, you need to write the definition according to the people who have defined it. When you write the meaning, you can actually go with the same kind of whatever they have defined, but you will not be writing who has given the definition. So here, what is organizing? Organizing is bringing together three things, that is finance, manpower, and the last one is called the physical resources. Now, all these three things, if it comes together, so why do we need it? As bringing together physical resources, finance, and manpower to accomplish the organizational goal, that is called organizing. See, organizing is a function of management which will make the planning to be acted. So that is what the organizing does. Now here, according to Theo Hyman, organizing is a process of defining and grouping the activities of the enterprise and establishing authority relationship among. The same way, if you go with it, organizing can be defined as a process that is initiate implementation of plans by clarifying jobs and working relationship and effectively developing resources for attaining of identified and desired results. So here, any of these two are the one which I have already told, that is bringing together physical resources, manpower planning and finance to accomplish the desired organization goal, that is called as organizing. You can write any of these whichever you feel comfortable. Write any two differences between functional and divisional structure. See, functional structure, what happens? Divisional structure, what happens? In a functional structure, it is all for a smaller organization. A divisional structure is for a large enterprises having a lot of varieties. In a functional structure, what happens is you will go with the way they do the function. And when it comes to the divisional, the expertise you need to have, the people who are really good you are supposed to take, who have done masters in their field you are supposed to go with. That is the functional and the divisional structure differences. Give the meaning of formal organization. Now, formal organization refers to organization structure which is designed by the management to accomplish a particular task. The next question is compare and contrast authority and accountability. Authority is all about the power of commanding that goes from the superior to the subordinate. When it comes to accountability, accountability can never be transferred. Whoever is accountable should actually go with it. State any two difference between delegation and decentralization. Delegation is all about transferring the authority and responsibility. It happens from the superior to the subordinate. So he transfers it. And delegation is temporary. So you people need to understand. Say, I'll give you an example here. When Mahendra Singh Dhoni used to play for India, and the one-day captain and the test captain both was Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Now when he was hurt or due to some reason he will not play the match, now what happens is he will actually give his delegation of authority and responsibility to the vice captain, who was then the vice captain was Virat Kohli, and he will be the captain and he'll lead Indian cricket. Now after that, when he comes back, that is Mahendra Singh Dhoni comes back, again he will retain the same. So that's why delegation is always what? It is always temporary. But whereas it comes to decentralization, decentralization is distribution of authority and responsibility. So please do understand the difference between delegation and decentralization. Now the section C is all about the 4-mark question, where they're gonna give you the question saying that explain any 4. But I always tell my students that please don't restrict yourself. If they're asking you 4, though you have studied 6, why is that you are not writing 6 points? Please do write 6 points. So explain the steps in the process of organizing. The process of organizing, whenever you get a question, please do write a flow chart. Say example, when you go with the flow chart here, say here you go with this process of organizing. Then you go with the flow chart. What is the first one? What is the second one? Like that, if you go with it, what happens is the examiner who will be evaluating your paper, he'll get to know that you know the answer properly, and then that is how you people can fetch. So I told you, whenever you get a question, explain the steps in planning process. Don't just explain the process itself. First you write the meaning of organizing, which you have already learned. So write it in the paper. So in the paper, whatever you write now, student, that will definitely give you or fetch you more marks. So you can write the first one, identification and division of work, departmentalization, assignment of duty, establishing reporting relationship. Then you will get 4 marks. State any 2 advantage and 2 disadvantage of functional structure. Please do watch my organizing sessions in the playlist, where you people can actually get 4 to 5 differences about the functional as well as the division structure, where I have given you properly what exactly it is. The very simple scenarios which I'll just tell you, the way we have written the 2 marks question as well. Functional is for small companies, divisional is for large company. In functional structure, they go with the way they work, that is the way the function it is. And divisional structure, they always want expertise people who can actually be there. Write any 2 advantage and 2 disadvantage of divisional structure. The same way the functional you have written, you are supposed to go with the divisional structure as well. State any 4 features of formal organization. Mention any 4 features of informal organization. State any 2 advantages and disadvantages of informal organization. And the last question here is distinguish between formal and informal organization by taking any 4 bases. So for this type of questions, what exactly you are supposed to do is, firstly, you need to know what is formal organization. Then you are supposed to know what is informal organization, when formal organization will be effective, when informal organization will play a very important role in the decision making. So when you understand all these 4 questions are so easy for you, like a cakewalk which you can go with it. So formal organization in the sense what? Here we are supposed to go with the scalar chain principle. The formal organization where you have a person called a managing director. Now, the managing director will give assignment to the managers. The manager will give the assignment to the assistant managers. The assistant manager will give the things to the other people. Say you have clerk, you have other supervisors and all those people. Now, this is formal organization where you have a proper authority, responsibility, which is well defined. But when it comes to informal organization, there is no hierarchy. In informal organization, all the people are the same. Now, in the formal, what happens is it's like a military concept where the managing director is above the manager. The assistant manager is below the manager. So here you have the hierarchical system, whereas in informal organization, all of them are the same. That is where you are supposed to understand the difference between a formal organization and informal organization. Explain briefly the elements of delegation. I told you the elements of delegations are 3. The first one is authority, the second is responsibility, and the last one is accountability. So you are supposed to draw a chart, and then you are supposed to see that when you write a chart as well, or you write a kind of organization structure, here you can write, say, elements of delegation. You can actually make columns like this. Here you can write authority, here responsibility, and here you can write accountability. So after that, try to explain each and everything little more lengthier. Explain the importance of delegation. Any 4 point is what they'll always prescribe, but I'm telling you, write more. So you have effective management, employee development, motivation of employee. Then you have the last one is facilitation of growth. Why delegation happens? Because the superior need to give his authority as well as responsibility to the person who is the next subordinate. So why? Because we are planning not for the short term, we are planning for the long term. So we need to assign the duties to the subordinate. Even they are supposed to work for the benefit of the organization. In the section D, we have explained the importance of organizing. It's a very, very important question. Please do not neglect this question. We have 7 points for it. Now you can actually go for each one of them. But before that, I told you in the planning chapter as well, whenever you get an 8-mark question, please do not restrict yourself. So always go with the introduction. Then you write the meaning of organizing, then definition of organizing, and then later you come with the explaining of each and every importance, right? All the importance, stating benefits of specialization, clarity in working relation, optimum utilization, effectiveness, efficiency, development, expansion, everything you write it. And later the last one is you are supposed to give conclusion why organizing is a must. Because see, organizing is a function of management, so it is a must in any process of management. State the advantage and disadvantage of formal organization. I told you about learning at formal organization as well as informal organization. You also have differences between formal organization and informal organization. Please do watch organizing chapter, that is the session 3 and session 4, where I have discussed properly about formal and informal organization. And the next question we have is section D. What is decentralization? Explain its importance. Whenever we get a question about decentralization, please do understand, go watch the sessions of organizing chapter in the playlist. When you understand the decentralization, you will also feel that decentralization is what the 21st century MNC companies are doing it, because they don't want the top management to have all the problems. They want to decentralize the organization, where they want to distribute the authority and responsibility. What will be the advantage or the importance of decentralization is the subordinates feel good, because they also feel that the management is respecting them as well as recognizing their work. And here what happens is, through decentralization, we can make quick decisions as well. So example here, develops initiative among subordinates, develop managerial talent for the future, quick decision making, relief to the top management. See, when it is centralized, what happens is, say we have a very big hierarchy. Now there is a person called C here, and there is a person called here M, who is the top management. Now if C need to take a decision, he should tell him, he will take permission, done. By then what happens is, the opportunity is lost. When it comes to decentralization, what happens is, C will take order from the next superior, and the superior would have got decentralization, that is authority and responsibility is decentralized. Now what happens is, quick decisions can be taken, and for each and everything, it is not the top management who will be responsible, it is the superior, the next superior is always responsible. But you are not supposed to write only this, you are supposed to write the introduction of decentralization, meaning and definition of decentralization. Then you are supposed to go with the importance of decentralization. The last one is give conclusion about decentralization. The last part, that is the section E, that is a PUC question. I told you the PUC question in this chapter is a compulsory one. You will get 2 questions, functional or divisional structure. So I'll teach you both the structures here. Say, let's read the question. Draw the organization chart showing divisional and functional structure. So when you go with divisional and functional, let me tell you the first one, functional structure. I'll just teach you here. So we'll write here functional structure. Now in the functional structure, you have one managing director. Now this functional structure is always according to the function. So here you have the human resource manager, you have the marketing manager, and you have, say example here, production, or you can also write finance, production manager or finance manager kind of. Now according to their function, you are supposed to categorize them. Now HR manager will do recruitment, selection, training and development. So training and development. Now marketing person, what is his function in the sense? He'll go with advertisement, promotion. Okay, so these are the functions of the marketing. Say one more marketing function in the sense, he'll go with the market survey, or he'll go with market research. So this is his function. According to the function, the structure is formed, that is called functional structure. Now the same way production, what is that he'll go for? That is what you are supposed to go. Say R&D is there, research and development in the production, quality enhancement test, quantity kind of a thing, how much it should be. All these are the functions of the production manager while producing a product. So this is called the functional structure. We have divisional structure. Again, you have a person called managing director. Now he will be taking care of the division. When I say more and more variety, say we have a company which manufactures chocolates. Say we have one of the example in the sense, here we have chocolates, here we have footwear, here we have one more thing, say cosmetics, here we have footwear, here we have say chocolates. though all the three are totally different. Let's go with this example. Now, chocolates, in the sense, it's all divisional. Again, here we need a person who is a human resource manager, because of the chocolates employees, how exactly they are supposed to be selected will be given by the HR manager. The marketing of the chocolates, the finance for the chocolates. The same way here, footwear also, we need HR, we need finance, and we need marketing. Here also we need HR, we need finance, and here also marketing. This is called the divisional structure, where it is for the very big company, very big organization having more varieties. Even in Tata Motors or TVS, if you go with it, they also have more varieties. You have two-wheeler, you have three-wheeler, you have four-wheeler, you have eight-wheelers. You have so many kind of a thing variety. For each and everything, again, they go with the same kind of a things. So this is what the functional and division structure for you. Any doubt regarding this chapter, please do call us. We're always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.